Around 11 o'clock that day, I got an urgent message on my radio. It says, you are to proceed immediately to the concentration camp at Dachau, to seize it, seal it off, and let no one in or out. And we got to where we could see the camp, but we couldn't tell what it was. It just looked like an ordinary garrison from the outside. It was surrounded by a cement or brick fence about 8 or 10 feet high. And the main road running into the camp, there was a big gate. It was closed. I said, take off around the left here and figure out some way to get into the camp without going down this main street. So the company commander took off, and right away they ran into a railway train, a railway track. I had about 40 some odd railway cars on it. And it was all full of human bodies, every car, all dead. What a mess. I said, okay, we're going in the camp. And they went on in through the railway, where the railway went in. We took that route. Then got in, and to the best of my knowledge, the Germans didn't put up any resistance at all. The men claimed they got fired at here and there, but I don't know. I followed them. We rooted out quite a few Germans. They were starting to hide. And we picked up some prisoners. The Germans had, for lack of a better word, I call them trustees, prisoners. The Germans used prisoners to do all the dirty work, cleaning and handling the bodies. And then we came to the concentration camp itself. Still no fire from the Germans. And then we found a couple of crematoriums. They weren't operating, but they had big coal-fired furnaces in them. Then one room was about the half the size of this living room, cement building, full of bodies, stacked in like cordwood, one on top of the other, all naked and all terribly emaciated. I don't know, maybe 100 of them in there. Well, that took us back, I'll tell you. And the smell, a lot of them have been dead for days and had maggots all over them. The smell was something else. It was very unnerving. So we never had, I don't think anybody ever had any hard feelings, except at Dachau. My company commander was running around and was yelling, you bastards, you bastards, you bastards. He went crazy. The men got pretty mad. Some guys cried, some cursed, and some didn't say anything. A goddamn general from the 42nd Division came in. I didn't see him. Well, he came in the main gate and drove right up to the entrance to the prison area, which had a big double locked gate. But the Germans and a couple of the guard towers came down. I'm sure they came down, and I didn't see it. I didn't know what happened. I'm sure they surrendered. And then this small party from the 42nd got panicky and shot them. Well, my men came, lead platoon, came along just at the time they were shooting the Germans. And I think it panicked this goddamn general. We caught him shooting prisoners of war. They took off. I didn't know it. I didn't see them. We lined up a bunch of prisoners against a wall, an L-shaped wall. On the other side of it was a small hospital. And this L-shaped wall was 20, 30 feet by 30 feet. And had been used as a coal bin. Had coal dust in the bottom of it. There was no coal in there. They used all their coal. Oh, that's where they stored their coal anyway. Had a little track, railroad track, like an ore car, that haul in. I guess trains come in with the coal and haul it to, and I dumped it in that little L-shape. I only had maybe, I don't know, 40, 50 prisoners there. And they were standing up against the wall. Then I heard some firing. That's when the 40s was the 42nd firing, and I didn't know that. Heard some firing ahead of me. And I took off, and I only got a few steps, and I had to set up a machine gun guarding these prisoners. Some young machine kid. And all of a sudden he cut loose. I wheeled around and he fired a pretty good burst into that group of Germans. I ran back and kicked him in the back, knocked him off the gun. Then I grabbed him by the collar and pulled him off the gun. I said, "What the hell are you doing?" He said, "Colonel, they were trying to get away." They were milling around, but they weren't trying to get away. I don't know why the hell he pulled the trigger. But he did, and he made a mess there. He killed about 11, wounded quite a few. And then some photographers came in at that point. Got pictures of the whole goddamn thing. I don't know where in the hell those damn photographers go. Everybody knew about Dachau, I guess. We took over the camp, and we put guards out all over the place. And everything was well under control. And here came the 42nd back, 3 jeeps. And this lead jeep was General Linden, Brigadier General, who was Assistant Division Commander of the 42nd. I knew him. I had seen him before. Behind him was a woman in a jeep and a driver, sergeant. And behind him was a lieutenant colonel in a jeep. So they come driving up. I was standing there by the gate. I say everything was very calm at that point. And the general said, the woman got out of the jeep. She said, this lady would like to interview the prisoners. She wants to go in there. I said, oh no. If she opens that gate, look at, by that time all the prisoners realized what was going on, and they were pressed up against the gate. As far as we could see, it was people.
A couple thousand?
32,000.
32,000.
It turned out. So I said, no, she can't open that gate. Well, he said, I'll take charge here and I'll be responsible. I said, no, you don't. This is my territory. You got no business here. That woman's not going to open that gate. While I'm arguing with him, she comes out of the jeep and she runs up to the gate and opens the goddamn thing. It had a crossbar on it. And the prisoners started surging forward. Well, I yelled at my men, start shooting, start shooting. Shoot over their heads. Charge the gate and close it. And about 4 or 5 men started firing their rifles in the air, charged the gate, and got it closed. And the woman got scared and she ran back. And I said, now, General, I want you and your party to get out of here right now. And she said to me, I want to interview, there's some prisoners in here I want to interview. I don't know, she said Cardinal Niemöller was one name she gave me. I don't think he was a cardinal, I don't know what the hell he was. He's some kind of high guy in the Lutheran church anyway. Had been at Dachau, I wasn't there when we got there. The Prince of Luxembourg. And one other name she gave me I didn't catch. And I said, lady, I don't give a damn who's in there. I don't know if they're there. It turned out they weren't. None of them were there. They moved all the high-ranking people out several days before we arrived. The general says, I'm relieving you. I'll take command here. I said, no, you're not. And I said to one of my privates, I said, escort the general and his party back out the gate. Well, this kid didn't know quite what to do. It was private. He kind of stepped forward. He raised his rifle like forward arms and stepped forward. This general had a little, I don't know, riding crop or some goddamn little thing. He carried, I guess, as his badge of authority. He whapped the kid over his helmet with a riding crop or whatever it was. Didn't hurt the kid. Rang his bell a little bit. That did it. I just exploded. I hauled out my 45 and I said, "You son of a bitch. You touch another one of my men, I'll kill you right here." Yeah, he got a little pale. And he said, "All right, I'll leave, but I'll see you before a general court-martial." He left. So they left and we got everything quieted down. And I immediately radioed back. I said, "We desperately need medical help up here, and food as rapidly as we could get it, because the prisoners practically were all starved to death. I don't think anybody weighed over like 95 pounds. They were just skin and bone. Every damn one of them had dysentery, typhus, and they were dying by the minute. There were a couple of hundred dead lying around inside the prison area that the Germans didn't have an opportunity to move them to the crematorium. So I got very quiet and I radioed back, we need hospitals here, quick. And then it was very calm. Our regimental commander came up. And the division commander came up, General Fredericks, Major General. And I explained to him what had happened. And General Fredericks said, "Oh, don't worry about that. I'll take care of that." They left, and a little while later came a lieutenant colonel from the 7th Army, Inspector General Department. And he said to me, "Colonel," he said, "I want you to explain to me what happened with General Linden." I said, "I don't have time to sit around there and gossip with you. I'm supposed to resume the attack into Munich the next morning." So I radioed the division regimental commander, and I said, "If I'm going to attack in the morning, I got one company in here. I got to get it back." He said, "Okay, I'll send a company up from the 1st Battalion, which was following us, and take over from you for tonight." So C Company came up then from our 1st Battalion, and I turned the camp over to them. Then I went back to my headquarters, which I hadn't never been at. It had moved up during the day into the city of Dachau. Well, I got back there about 8 o'clock at night. I just got back to my headquarters and I got another radio message from the regiment stating that I wouldn't be attacking in the morning, that the 1st Battalion would. That I was to relieve C Company, that it just relieved me. I was pissed off. So I sent an L Company, another company, into the camp to take care of it that night and relieve C Company. And that night nothing happened, and the next morning I went on into Munich. 1st Battalion had resumed the attack, and by nightfall we had Munich well under control. And then at noon that day came an artillery unit up from 7th Army and took over from L Company. By that time I'm getting a little weary of getting relieved and re-relieved. Next morning the division commander came down and said, "General Linden's stirring up a lot of trouble. General Patton says his 3rd Army has taken over this headquarters as of today, and we're being shipped to Austria. The 42nd Division is going to be shipped back to Austria. Where's General Patton headquarters?" He gave me the name of some city 15 or 20 miles outside of Munich. Pretty good sized town. I said, "Okay, I'll go there." I found the headquarters, and reported to the chief of staff, General Patton's out now. He'll be in the morning, and you come report to him in the morning. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, you come report to him. So I found quarters for me and my man. The next morning, I reported to General Patton. He was in a little office. It wasn't a very big office. Had like 2 or 3 chairs and a desk. He was sitting at his desk, and I went in and saluted. I said, "Sir, I'm Colonel Sparks. I have orders to report to you." "Oh," he said, "yes, General Sparks, or Colonel Sparks." He said, "I have some very serious charges against you and some of your men." Well, I said, "Well, I would like to explain, General." He said, "I've read all these charges." He said, "Didn't you serve under me in Africa and Sicily?" I said, "Yes, sir, I did." "Well," he said, "I've looked over these charges and they're a bunch of goddamn crap." He says, "Now I'm going to tear up these charges on you and your men. Now you go on back to your regiment." The interview lasted less than 2 minutes. I left. That's the last I ever heard of it.